Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builders Supply. In this video is to bring you a closer look at the Hager number 448S-MIL. This is it's a sample piece of the Hager 448S. And the 448S is representative of the fact that this is a saddle threshold. If you use your imagination, it looks a bit like a saddle. Specific dimensions, which we will get to. The MIL means that it is in the mill aluminum finish, and this is also available in the DBA for dark bronze anodized. Now, the dimensional properties of this saddle threshold. This is a 10-inch wide threshold. Okay, and it is 1/4-inch rise, so very short sort of rise threshold. Where you're going to use this? Well, anywhere where you have a deep frame, large frame depths, 8 3/4, 10-inch, 14-inch, who knows? Anything where you really need a wider threshold, meaning this. 5-inch is very common. 5 3/4 jam depth hollow metal frames. 4-inch is common for aluminum storefront. But if you've got a 12 3/4 jam depth, that skinny little threshold is going to look funny underneath there. And you're going to want to go with something wider like this, because it will look more, commiserate to everything else that you're doing. You also might just simply have a flooring condition by which a deeper frame is going to really, a deeper threshold is really going to suit the condition. You might have simply a aluminum storefront sort of opening and get yourself a funny situation whereby you've got a very long sill that leads out to some sort of, or maybe leads into some sort of odd tile condition. Another reason you might want something deep, if you had a typical 5 3/4 frame, what some people will do is actually cope the profile of the frame right around the threshold so that they can have it run long all the way past the door area of the frame and all the way maybe to a perpendicular wall. 5 3/4 hollow metal frame, 3 foot wide. You've got a 40-inch outside on the frame. You might want to take this to 40-inch and run that long and then caulk the base of the threshold around the frame, something that some people do because they want to protect that bottom area for whatever reason. Another reason people will take a 10-inch wide is they might need to create a custom offset threshold. Same sort of scenario where you've got an aluminum storefront and you've got tile that's happening in a funny situation on the outside with the concrete sill that you need to just cover up or span. And what would really work would be an offset threshold that's, 9-inch wide. Well, there are no stock 9-inch offset, but you sure could run that down your table saw and rip that little leg off and then have a custom offset threshold. Another reason that people use this. Again, this is a sample piece. This is just a 6-inch sample piece for the purposes of this video. Now, if this was the genuine article, these two countersinks that you see here, they would be closer to about 5 inches from the end or 4 inches from the end, a little bit further over. They've just punched them in the center here. If this was the genuine article, let's say 48-inch long, and you had to cut it down to 42-inch, you would eliminate those two countersinks, and they are soldier stacked when it gets out to this wide. 8-inch or 9-inch might be the cutoff before you go from 1 screw to 2. Might be 8-inch. But the point of the matter is, if you cut your countersinks out as you're shortening the threshold, you'll be stuck drilling 2 new holes. You'll certainly be stuck cutting that down, and that's possibly not a simple task. It sure is just aluminum, but the truth of the matter is you'll need a saw that will handle that. You don't want to have a funny sort of cut to that. So if you ordered a custom length, and I should have mentioned, order the next longest piece or pieces and just indicate in the comment field what length you want us to cut the threshold back at and ship it at. We'll do that. We'll not only cut it to length, but locate the countersinks at the proper distance from the edge. And speaking of those countersinks, screws are included. They'll be like a number 10 by 1.5 inches for going into here. And you're really going to want those countersinks there because those flathead screws, they need something to seat into. And that underside of the flathead screw really gives it a lot of strength because on a threshold like this, there's a lot of lateral force, traffic, all the time. Think of a rug that you're constantly walking over, and it seems like every day you pull it back to where it used to be. Same sort of concept on the threshold. It's really just always pushing it, and what that action does is loosen that hole. And if you don't have a countersink, and I've seen countless thresholds fail because someone's just drilled a hole and ran a flathead screw into it and left it sticking out. That's a point of failure. So do all that you can to give yourself the best chance of stability. Now, something like this, plastic anchors, a lot of surface area in a threshold, plastic anchors wouldn't be the idea. I would probably opt for machine bolts and then a lead anchor that I could really get that tightened down real good. Okay. Very common threshold, actually. There's a link below this video to the manufacturer's page where you can pull up a product brochure, is what I'm trying to say. There is a link to a product brochure that's here, and it will show you the 448 along with all of, or many of, Hager's sister products as it comes to thresholds. Different sizes, different styles, material that would be thermal break, which is on the last page. Material made of stainless steel, architectural bronze, Hager gets into as well. And, of course, not only thresholds, but door sweeps, perimeter gasketing. They are a full-line provider of that material. And a lot of people don't realize how comprehensive Hager is. Weather stripping, obviously. Lock sets, exit devices, door closers. A variety of ancillary hardware like trim and auxiliary, door stops, kick plates. They'll do filler plates for steel doors and steel frames. Aluminum continuous geared hinges under the Roton name. Signage. They're going to be also able to sell you sliding door track and hangers for bifold, pocket, bypass, sliding applications. But it's their namesake, Hager hinge, that they're most widely known for. Everything as it pertains to institutional, commercial, residential hinges. There's a link below this video to the manufacturer's page where you can pull up the full-line product catalog and review all things Hager hardware related. The only thing that they don't make for the door and frame opening is the door and frame itself, and I bet you that they're probably working on that too. Any questions on the Hager number 448S-MIL 10 by 1/4 inch saddle type threshold or any other Hager product, please feel free to reach out to us. Thank you very much.